Well, hello everyone, I'm Postmaster Radio and it's time to bring on the funny. You're listening to Ujokes Weekly, the official podcast highlighting Jonathan Mangum's fantastically funny virtual comedy show Ujokes, where comedians compete for the best joke, plus you guys and gals playing on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch also have a chance to seize the crown of victory. It is literally comedy gold at your fingertips, and today I'm counting down my picks for the top 5 jokes from Ujokes episode 88 with Lee Barron and Mrs. Woo Woo herself, Danielle Wooten. But before we get started, a quick little reminder that if you missed last week's Ujokes show with Jeremy Rowley and Megan Strange, catch up via the podcast link in the description. You can also watch the full Ujokes show on the Ujokes YouTube channel. And as always, to continuing listeners, brand new ones too, thanks for checking out the Ujokes podcast. If this is your first time listening and you happen to be listening from Podchaser or the Apple Podcast platform, please leave a rating and review if it's not too much trouble. Also, you know how we do it here on Ujokes Weekly. Top 5 countdown, followed by, stick around for this afterwards, the Ujokes Awards, full of additional highlights, including your thoughts on Comedian of the Week and Game of the Week. But anyway, without further ado, time to get the podcast started. At spot number 5 on the old Ujokes countdown, we go to the audience for a game called Pod Craps. And yes, you heard me right, Pod Craps. You know how I do podcasts, Ujokes Weekly included? Well, for the crazy picture of a man and a woman with the heads of a few dogs and a cat hovering over them, the pros in the audience had to come up with the podcast name. Craig in the UK sure did from the YouTube chat, with his puntastic podcast title, Bohemian Rhapsody. The Bohemian Rhapsody, and that was the winning joke for the Pod Craps game. Well done to Mr. Craig in the UK. And, you know, it has been a while since we've seen him on the YouTube chat. To be fair, though, he is from the UK. Really major time difference there compared to the East Coast and the States. So, yeah. Anyway, great joke from you, Craig in the UK. And before we continue with the countdown, I also want to give him a shout out because of the website that he created quite a while back, the official Ujokes website, which if you have not checked out already, please make sure you do. That's ujokes.com, and I'll leave you a link to that website in the description. And Craig, I cannot thank you enough for creating that website. I love every single thing about it. But don't take my word for it, folks. Check out the website for yourself. Again, that's ujokes.com. But now let's get back to the Ujokes countdown at spot numero 4, the game Jing-A-Long, one of my favorite games on Ujokes, not just because of the funny title or the singing, but because of the utterly fake / if they were real, useless, and in this week's case, dangerous products, specifically my first fire. Now, the joke that I'm referring to is for one of the pros, but before I tell you who, I want to give a quick bonus honorable shout out to myself, because I prefer not including my own jokes on the countdown, because otherwise then I'd be biased with every joke that I submit onto the chat, and then it just becomes the Postmaster Radio Jokes Hour, and then, well, that's no fun. But I am really proud of my jingle / as always, whenever my jokes are picked, half surprised that it even happens, because I don't even see it coming, but still a great jingle if you ask me. A little bit inspired by Alicia Keys, if you know what I mean, with my jingle. He's just a boy and he's on fire. Here's a product that needs to retire. Cha! Oh my god, yeah. I still can't get enough with that jingle of mine, but no guarantee that I would win. In fact, I did not. Danielle Wooten and Lee Barron brought the heat. The question is, which joke lands at spot number 4 on the countdown? Well, that's easy for me to tell you. It's Mrs. Woo Woo herself, Danielle Wooten.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't gotta be like Drew. I got something just for you. Start a fire at the age of 2. My first fire kit, burn down your home and blame your parents for it.
I like it. And I even like the wait a minute in the middle there. I think that works too.
Right.
I could tell you more about the jingle, but let's be honest. I think Jonathan covered it, and obviously Danielle's jingle did the talking, but bigger competition lied for me and Danielle, because at spot number 3 on the countdown, the winning jingle goes to Mr. Lee Barron.
It's my first fire. It'll make you stare, smell the burn of your hair, hands blister with pus for ages 2+. Now it's my time to expire. It's my first fire. Oh, dangerous.
Hands blister with pus. You are a sick individual, and it makes me laugh.
I dare say there could have been a little more inflection with some parts, but who the hell cares? I mean, first of all, what do I know? I'm not a professional jingle writer. Plus, that jingle was funny as heck. And, well, to be honest, as soon as I heard it, I was like, well, of course, Lee Barron's going to win the game for that one. He's going to have the best jingle. And he did indeed. Well done, Lee. I mean, like, that was really one of the best jingles that I have seen in the history of Jingalong games on Ujokes. And I'm not joking. That's got to be at least top 3, if not number 1, in my book. So yeah, that's really saying something. Next up at spot numero 2 on the countdown, my second favorite joke from the night. The spotlight still shines on Lee Barron, this time for a game called What's It Mean? With the fake word, you gotta come up with a real, or at least somewhat believable, definition. And the word at hand is jumpler. Now, for those of you that actually care about the spelling of a fake word that, as far as I can tell, does not exist, that's Jumjuppler, jumpler. Now, the question is, how can you make a word like that really funny? Well, tell Lee Barron, and he'll probably give you some possible ideas, but he probably won't let you take this answer of his, which, I mean, too good to share with anyone else at this point, right?
It's what's left of a skydiver when his parachute doesn't open.
That's the joke.
Nothing like scraping a jumpler off a boulder. And
A little jumpler there.
Yeah, that was a good joke, Lee. That, and also the fact that, in any case, it's not a real word, but it's fun to say. Jumpler. Jumpler. Anyway, at spot number 1 on the countdown, here's where we get to my favorite joke of the night. And the spotlight, dare I say it, but it is true, it's still shining on Lee Barron. He is slaying the competition. And, well, he did not win the happy hour game, but he still brought the heat, or really the force, I should be saying, for the picture of Darth Vader with a cocktail, I want to say, in his hand. You have to come up with the drink name. Now, I love this joke not only because, hello, big Star Wars fan I am, but also, and it's usually not that common to see impressions done on Ujokes, but I gotta say, Lee Barron with his drink name does a pretty good Darth Vader. But anyway, this was his joke. This was his drink.
Okay, got a little lead in for this. If you will not turn to the dark side, perhaps you'll enjoy this dark cider.
I like that. He looks like he'd make an excellent waiter, just the way he's holding himself, and he
presentation.
Considered that as work.
It's perfect, right? Dark cider for the dark side. Not too shabby, Lee Barron. And with that being said, that is it for the Ujokes countdown. Now we go on to the Ujokes Awards. The Ujokes Awards. It's like the Oscars, only it's an award show that you might actually like for once. For Comedian of the Week, well, I mean, for me personally, no-brainer. No offense to the sensational woo-woo Danielle Wooten, but I gotta give it to Lee Barron. I mean, if you ask me, he pretty much slayed the competition. Now, that's of course what I think, but you people on social media had other ideas. I checked the polls for Twitter and Insta, and it looks like the winner for the personal audience vote in terms of Comedian of the Week, Miss Danielle Wooten. So, for you guys, Danielle was the queen of comedy this week. Oh, and for the Insta voters, shout out to Karen Frazier, who voted for Danielle, and Love Maverica plus Michael Tideman, who voted for Lee. For Game of the Week, I'm going to give it to both Jingalong and Happy Hour. Jingalong because, well, all three of the jokes, including my own, were on fire. Pun intended, if I do say so myself. And I'm also giving it to Happy Hour purely, I guess, because of the Darth Vader pick and him holding a drink. In terms of the audience vote, it looks like those of you that voted on the favorite game poll on Twitter, majority of the votes went to Caption This, but shout out to Randy Hume as his favorite game was Jingalong. I hear you loud and clear, Randy. Next up, we have the Audience Award. Now this goes to that person up on Team Audience, whether on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, that had the best joke. Craig in the UK, with his Bohemian Rhapsody pod craps joke, is the recipient of the Audience Award this time. Well done, Craig in the UK. And as for Mangum Moment, the award that shines the spotlight on Ujokes show host Jonathan Mangum, well, I gotta give it to a joke he had from a game we didn't talk about today, Caption This. Now, of course, the pros and Team Audience had to caption the picture of two people. One of them's holding like a really long gun that's stretched out and like balanced on the other guy's shoulders. This was Jonathan's joke. This gun is so long, it extends into the Third Amendment. Yeah, nothing else I can say about that. So well done, Jonathan Mangum. That is my Mangum moment for today. And with that being said, that is it for the Ujokes podcast. That's almost it anyway. But first, a few final announcements. Numero uno, I want to let you know that normally the next Ujokes show would be on Monday, September 6th, except that day is Labor Day, and so Jonathan will be taking that day off. So the next Ujokes show will be instead on Monday, September 13th. Usual time, of course, if all goes to plan, 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern. Now, until then, you can submit jokes if you were not able to watch this week's Ujokes show live, or maybe you did submit a joke into the live chat, but it just wasn't picked. Pas de problème, no problem at all. You can still type your joke into the comment section, and if there happen to be any for the week, you can also take part in any mini Ujokes Caption This challenges that might pop up on Jonathan's Facebook page or the old community tab of the Ujokes YouTube channel. In any case, Jonathan and Josh will look at all of the jokes. They'll pick the one that they collectively like the best, and whoever submitted that joke gets invited to play in the final round on the next Ujokes show against the pros and Team Audience. I know it happened to me twice. It's happened to Amy Kahn and Josh Bagley several times at this point, and it can happen to you too. So get on that ASAP. But don't forget, Ujokes is not the only show on that channel. You also have FMK Champions, hosted by College Humor's Carolyn Page. Check that out Wednesday nights at 7 Pacific time, 10 Eastern. And if you want more Ujokes and FMK fun, kind of taking them on the go with you, there's Ujokes/FMK merch, which you gotta admit is pretty cool, having like a Ujokes mug or an FMK t-shirt. If you're interested in that sort of thing, I know I got a couple of items myself, and I hope you will as well. The link to the website to get access to the merch, if you're interested, it's in the description. The link will also be in the About section of the Ujokes YouTube channel. And still on the Ujokes channel, there's more than just Ujokes and FMK Champs. There's also, wait for it, a show where jokes equal cash, high joke score. Check out episodes of that on Fridays, released via the Ujokes channel. Oh, and one final thing. I did say that there was no new Ujokes show next week, but I might release a bonus Ujokes podcast sometime next week. I'm not entirely sure if I'll do that just yet, but just in case, make sure you stay tuned. Alright, and now that is really it for today on Ujokes Weekly. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this week's podcast. Make sure you stay connected with me on Twitter and Instagram at Postmaster Radio. Plus, like, subscribe, comment, rate, and review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Podchaser, Castbox, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, the list goes on. The account links can all be found in the description. Thank you so much again for listening, and until next time, well, bye for now. See ya!